Okay, are we live? Yes. So I'm waiting for the YouTube. Okay, sorry about that. Good morning, everyone. Um, we're now on our first keynote for the event. We are going to discuss the vaccine production adaptations for the COVID-19 pandemic at Instituto Butantan. I'm with Ms. Cintia Lucci and Mr. Adriano Alves Ferreira. Cintia is master in philosophy of science by Université Paris 1, and she is currently a project director at Fundação Butantan. And Adriano Ferreira, he has a master in biotechnology by the University of São Paulo, and he's an expert in vaccine production, also at Instituto Butantan. So good morning, Cintia. Good morning, Adriano.
Hi, hello. Good morning, everyone.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
So yes, the scene is yours.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I start?
No,
the
we need
presentation.
to check, what's the moment that can show the presentation.
Eu posso começar e aí coloca na tela daqui a pouco?
Pode.
Mas a gente
Fechou já.
Acho que pode voltar, Volta como estava antes. A gente não estava por enquanto. Não, como estava antes. Tá? Okay, so hello everyone, good morning. My name is Cintia and I'm the head of strategic projects and member of the board of Butantan Institute. I'm very glad to be part of this event and to have the opportunity to talk with you this morning about the Institute. Once more, thank you very much for this invitation. I will be sharing this talk with Adriano Ferreira, the managing director of the new multi-vaccine plant, which includes the cell-based COVID vaccines. We have another one too, egg-based. I asked him to be with me because he's an engineer and I am an economist, so you can leave the tough questions to him. When I received the invitation from the workshop committee organization, they asked me how Butantan was able to reply so quickly to this sanitary emergency. We were the first to provide the COVID vaccine to the Brazilian National Immunization Program. In December, we had almost 9 million doses here, ready to use, being 3 of them produced inside Butantan. It's a very good question, since we know that chains in industrial plants are always a matter of medium to long-term decision-making inside a company. To build a new plant in the pharma sector and get it operational with all the quality requirements can easily reach 3 years, even more. Changes in existent production lines also take time. This industry has a production cycle of 1.5 years approximately. In other words, we need to know now what we are going to produce next year. Any change must occur only afterward. In the meanwhile, we must design the chains, buy equipment, review all the purchase contracts for inputs and raw materials, which demands a tremendous negotiation effort with suppliers. But mainly, we must study the impact on quality and regulatory issues. These are the very heart of the pharma industry. In other words, adaptation is not the best feature of this industry. And we are a public institution. So, how did we reply so quickly to this call. First of all, let me introduce the Instituto Butantan for those who don't know. This very beautiful name means hard ground in Tupi-Guarani, one of our native languages. Butantan is a 120 years old institution that was born in another sanitary outbreak, the bubonic plague, at the beginning of the last century. People were dying in a port seat near here, and at first we didn't know why. So a young physician, Vital Brasil, went there to understand what was going on, and through an international cooperation with Pasteur Institute in France, he introduced the serum. He was able to understand this technology, and he was able to absorb this technology. I like to think that it was our first tech transfer. During these 120 years, Butantan became the main producer of serum to the federal government. We make 12 serum against animal venoms and toxins. We are very famous for the snake serum. Besides the snakes, we have serum against venoms of spider, scorpions, and also antitoxins serum. And we also produce vaccines. 20 years ago, we started a partnership with Sanofi, the French Sanofi, to bring the flu vaccine. Nowadays, we produce 80 million doses for the federal government. 80 million doses. We also produce other vaccines through international partnership. We have HPV, DT, AP, hepatitis A, hepatitis B, rabies, and other vaccines. We also have a new plant for monoclonal antibodies, which is immunotherapy. So we are starting a new area in Butantan, and we are concluding the dengue vaccines. At this moment, we are concluding the phase 3 of the clinical studies. The plant is already operational for the past 2 years, actually. So everything is working according to the plan. This is, in a very summarized way, the industrial park. The park, the Butantan Park, has 750,000 square meters. It's a huge green area inside São Paulo city. We can divide Butantan's activities in 4. We have the industrial production that I already explained. We have the research area with 27 scientific laboratories, from the basic research to applied research. We also have the teaching activities with a new higher education school. And we have the cultural activities. We have 3 museums inside the park, 1 museum outside the park. And we used to receive 300,000 visitors every year before the pandemic. We want to reach 1 million visitors every year with this cultural and scientific knowledge that we want to spread. We have more than 3,000 employees nowadays, actually 3,600 employees, and all the products are sold to the federal government at a nearly cost price. So this is the main strategy of Butantan: provide products at a cost price. And this is a monopsony. It's the contrary of the monopoly. We have a single buyer. And this may be a problem. So 4 years ago, we established a new strategy to go international, to go abroad, because we don't want to compete with private enterprise. Sorry, just a moment. Well, so we want to go international to reach public markets and to offer this product at cost price. For that, we should change several points in Butantan. But this is the main goal, to diversify and minimize risk and uncertainties that we have when we have a single buyer. So we established 3 goals. The first goal was to increase the production capacity and having a surplus to offer. For that, we should refurbish the plant, the flue plant, we choose the flue plant, and retrofit this plant. We had also to get the international certification from WHO. This is a requirement when we want to participate in international tender. And we had to have an additional filling line because we had a single filling line that was working for the whole industrial park. The second goal was to adapt the governance structure, the administrative part, to international business. So we hire people from market to assume the key positions. We established a new process, internal process, administrative process, and we also start the basis of IT transformation. We were looking at a 4.0 industry. So we are still going through this path. It's a long path, but we started 4 years ago with new softwares and so on. We need to get faster and safer to start business with international companies. And the third goal was to increase the portfolio of international partners. We needed to find in the world who wanted to buy products from us and who had the technology that we were interested on observing. So all this happened in 2 years and a half, more or less. Now, to tell you a little bit about the results of these 3 goals, now we have from 40 million doses capacity, we reach to 80 million doses capacity, from 80 to 100 million doses. We have, we may have the largest flu plant in the South Hemisphere. These 80 million doses correspond to 10% of the global production of flu vaccines. We got the certification from WHO during the pandemics. This was a huge a success for us. And we have this additional filling line. Also concerning the increasing of the portfolio, in 1 year and a half, we traveled to USA, Canada, the countries in South America. We went to Europe, to China, and to South Korea. And we had already several projects going on, very specific projects to go abroad, to go international. Then we had to face the outbreak of the pandemic. And I can say immediately that all these projects had to stop immediately. We had one certainty in the middle of all this uncertainty. We didn't know what was going to happen, but we had one certainty. We wanted to produce a COVID vaccine. So we put all the organization focused on that. The business department went back to our portfolio of partners, and 2 main points drove our search. We had to find a vaccine, a COVID vaccine, in an advanced stage of development. So actually, we are talking about a COVID that were already being tested in human. And we had to find another company with the same technological platform that we have, because since it is an emergency, a sanitary emergency, we wouldn't have time to absorb a whole new technology. So we need to go to our strength point. And then we found Sinovac. Sinovac makes an inactivated virus vaccines based on, it is a cell-based platform. So we started with them, and it is working very well. Our filling line, the second filling line that we made to cope with this increasing of capacity actually was right away put to produce the COVID vaccines, and all the organization was ready to start new contracts, to exchange with international companies, and we adapted very quickly everything to receive this new vaccine and to provide this vaccine to the federal government. I think you know that our main, and we are talking about change in infrastructure, in industrial line, but I think our main defy was the negotiation with the federal government, and we were also able to have this contract uh, at the beginning of this year, and we were successful in being the first provider of the COVID vaccines for the immunization program. So now I will let Adriana explain to you all the changes that we had to make, the specific changes to adapt to these lines.
Okay. Could you share the presentation? So, good morning, everyone. First, I'd like to say it's a pleasure to be here in this event, especially talking about the COVID-19 issues and the actions that Butantan has been made. My name is Adriano. I have been working in Butantan for 18 years. For 13 years was in vaccines production. And the last 5 years, I am in charge of Industrial Development Department. This department is responsible for the process engineering and process automation. So all the technology, all the capability of the industrial scale or small scale, and specification of the process equipments we are responsible for. So now I have few slides to show you the major products that we have here in this moment. We separately three major projects that it's connected to the supply vaccines. I will start to show you this project, this action. Aqui mesmo? Isso, sumir com tá ok. Okay, então Butantan in a pandemic situations, the first slide. And this is last year, as Cintia said, mentioned it. Last year, we have had several meetings with Sinovac in order to start our business, our partnership in terms of collaborate to supply vaccines to Brazilian population. And first, we have had several technical discussions with the Sinovac team and Butantan team here in order to understanding how to fill in vaccines to them, and also how can we start this filling as much as possible here in order to deliver vaccines to population. So first, we have plan one, is a short-term action. First of all, was adaptation for CoronaVac. In this case, I am talking about the final product. It means that we are talking about the deliver vials to to send MOH in order to immunize our population. So in this case, we have had several meetings internally in order to find in short time all the procedures that should be needed in order to start the filling process, the filling vaccines. In this case, I am talking about the book that we have been receiving from Sinovac. So this vaccine was produced in Sinovac company in China, and the API, the API are sending for us in order to perform the filling line. So we received the book, and you need to put in our filling line. But for this, we need to adapt some things as equipment. For example, we need to both a new equipment and to put on a new equipment in production. And there are also some procedures to getting fast tracking to finish the qualification. This another filling line that we have here, as mentioned by Cintia. With this, you're getting the increasing capacity of this process. So it means that we also perform the filling vaccines for coronavac, for COVID-19, but also we have sometimes, depends on the strategy, you can keep our vaccines that we are doing in the same time. So, and these are two main activities in terms of equipment that we needed to adapt in this new line. So about the process and the production, we selected some points, some issues, like before starting, a lot of tests should be made in order to ensure that the machinability is okay, and also the test for some parameters. These parameters are like, I give an example for temperature, for agitation, because in this case, we are talking about the vaccines with adjuvant. So we need to, all the time during filling, the product should be under agitation in order to keep all the concentration in all the book, all the vials is the same concentration. So because of this, a lot of tests were made. In this case, I selected operation tests with water in order to check all the line if it's okay in terms of parameters, in terms of volume for each vials. And also for agitation tests, it's very, very important to ensure that your product is homogeneous. After that, we started batches production for validation. This is another phase that's very, very important to take data from the process, to analyze all the data and the performance of the product. And then for that, we needed to increase of the human resource and all the production line, production area. People are working 7 days per week, 24 hours per day. So we change this too. And they also very, very important to regulatory issues and quality. This is a hard work to do that. A lot of documents should be done, should be reviewed. As a clinical trial, media field, stability, comparability report. Media field, for example, is these tests. We are using some specific media, bacterial media, in order to simulate of the product of an in-process. So we need to start to run it 2, 3, 4 times by using this bacterial media in order to understand and to check this sterile system. Because in this case, we are talking about the aseptic process. We need to show and to validate that the process are sterile. So after this, we have a stability test. We keep the sample. We take sample from the process from the batch production and start a stability test. So we have a protocol for this for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, depends on the protocol that we are doing now. We have some different protocols. So every month we take sample that was took during the production and start some tests by quality control in order to check some parameters, physical chemical parameters, sterile parameters, and also biological parameters, especially in terms of potency tests. You need to see and to validate this kind of parameters. And then we started study a comparability report with Sinovac team. So we took data from the production here and compare the production that they produced there in China, in Sinovac. So this is a very important to understand which kind of phase of process is a little bit different or is the same, or you need to make something in terms of quality or some procedure that should be done in order to understand and to prove by this report that is the same process, is the same vaccines. There is no difference between them. This is the most important because the same products that are producing there is the same product that are producing here. So this kind of documents is useful, very useful, and they need to show, to send to Anvisa, our local inspector. All these data should be prepared in a big dossier of the documentation and sent to Anvisa. So in parallel, we started the process validation. So it means that all the parameters during the filling process should be the same, keep the same condition, all the batches during production. So one step that was made, and when we started the partnership with Sinovac, was analytical method transfer. This is a very, very important. You can measure all the points, the physical chemical tests, so all the tests should be the same. So this part of quality control is very important when we start a partnership with another company, because the same tests that are made there should be the same here. So we need to transfer this part of tech transfer, a part of quality control. So all these things, all these documents is important to getting the register. In this case, we got the register from Visa for emergency use only. So this is I want to say plan one in short-term action that Butantan, I think that we spent around 5 months to do everything before starting in a practical filling process of the COVID-19 and send it to MOH to distribute all the population, or the Brazilian population. So this is a first plan. I have few slides. I have another plan. Plan one is this. Plan two and plan three, but this is already done. these parts. Now, we just performed the filling vaccines. We have been receiving book from Sinovac, and here we perform the filling of this vaccine to Brazilian population. Okay, this is a first plan that we done. The second plan, it's a medium-term action. This is an adaptation of the existing building for API production. And the last slide, we were talking about the final product, just a filling process to get in the vials. In this case, it's another thought. We have had several discussions internally in order to find where can I start some production as much as possible. This is a second plan. So we identified a building, an existing building that we have here in our industrial park. As mentioned by Cintia, now we are doing the refurbish of this building. But this slide, I want to show you that the concept of this facility, these new facilities, because we're thinking about the hybrid technology. It means that you can use single-use equipment and the conventional equipment. Single-use equipment are equipments that using bags, plastic bags, as a mixer, as bioreactors. You can use by using bags. Or the conventional system is the equipment, the specially processed equipment that is contact with the product in a stainless steel material. So in our thought, we need to have here facilities that should be ready for production. It depends on the platform, but we need to think about a multi-purpose facility in case we need to, that we need to start quickly a new production. We have all the facilities, all the infrastructure to be able to do that. So in this slide, we have 6 key points of this project. One is hybrid technology that I already said, and they also biosafety level 3 areas. There are some rooms under biosafety level 3. It means that we have capability, we are able to manipulate some high pathogens, some virus or some kinds of microorganisms that you need to keep inside of the building. Because of this, all the infrastructure concerning biosafety level 3, this is we need to keep inside. In case we are manipulating some virus, you need to ensure that, or in case an accident inside of the building, the other virus keep inside. So it's very, very important to do this kind of infrastructure, because it can start quickly a new production independent of the pathogen of the virus. And also the cleaning place, steam place system are automated, everything automated, fully automated. Also, we have a thermal inactivation area. So all the effluents from this environment, this area inside of the production, goes to the thermal inactivation before delivery to environment, before delivery to this material. All the effluents and the equipment, process equipment especially, and the environment, the room, should be decontaminated. Usually, for environment, we use high peroxide, and for the effluents, we use a thermal inactivation. So, this another point is a productive platforms. As Cintia mentioned, these productive platforms based on cell process. So this is facility developed in order to attend a multipurpose production center. We can produce some standard process to getting virus or recombinant products by using cells. Or so we have a flexibility to start to change the switch of the production. Of course, by campaign, not at the same time, but the idea is to have a facility that can produce by campaign different vaccines. So during 1 year, we can produce 2 or 3 months one vaccines, and then start the contamination procedures, and then you can start another production, another virus, another cells. So for this, we need to have a robust control of the system. Because of this, we selected that it's important to have here technology for automation level, the technology master execution system, and also batch software. It means that all the parameters, all the process is automatic. And then, and with this, we ensuring a robustness system with traceability of the production batches. This is very important because when you produce some kind of vaccines in this facility, we need to avoid cross-contamination when you're talking about the multipurpose facility. So when you have this kind of system to control all the equipments, all the process, and they also are connected with different system, this is more robust, more strong system. You can also getting the traceability of each kind of production batches. This is a concept of this. In summary, it's a concept of this new project. But for this, it was very, very important to find a good way and a fast track strategy and the operation target and the raw speed. We need to, everybody here in Butantan work together because for this result, we have been working a different team together, from infrastructure engineer, with a quality control team, quality assurance team, regulatory affairs department. So everybody worked together in order to a lot of activities are being made in the same time with different teams. Basically, this kind of facility, we have a cells and virus bank and buffers media culture in inbound of the facility, and you get the book production. It's around 200 liters per batch. This is our target that we have for this facility for each batch. In this case, we are talking about API product, drug substance, not drug product. Filling is another building. We have here some building for API production. And also we have another building dedicated for filling process. So this is a main strategy for this kind of project. And the phase 1 is a single line COVID-19 is another production platform. We are talking about we expect to start a production for COVID-19 vaccines by using cells. And also, it's very important to understand this, that there is that this with this facility we have capability, high capability in an industrial scale. Okay. In our plan, we have this project. It's around 15 months. And it's very interesting because it's a new ways of work in this case, because we have an engineering team working in a project, and then we have another team from constructors that are working in the same time with the project engineer. And in parallel, we have our purchase process to buy equipment, especially process equipment, and then starting the commissioning and the qualification of the equipment, the assembly, all the piping and the infrastructure that we have in this facility in order to get the visa certification. So this is a big challenge that we have here in Brazil, especially in this moment, because we are in a sensible moment. Some suppliers cannot providing some materials in the moment that we want or we need, but we need to adapt, we need to adjust some schedule that we have in this project. But also in this project is ongoing in this moment. We have an expectation to finish this project at the beginning next year.
On April. More or less.
Sorry?
On April?
Yes, on April. It's around on April. It's next year. It's a data that we have as expectation to finish and to start engineering batches. So the same procedures, the similar procedures that we did with filling line 2. So here in this slide, I want to show you that we have some pictures that show to you all the systems should be connected. So we have a surrounded blue line, the production area, API production, formulation, and filling production. And then we have a system utilities that supply this facility as a double FI system that can produce water for injection. And we have some skids for cleaning place and steam place. So we have a cold chamber, HVAC system. This is a very, very important, because when you're talking about the biosafety level 3 condition, we need to get in the redundancy of this machine. So we need to use more space in a technical area. We need to start to make some procedure, validate the procedure to decontamination of this system, because HVAC, the air that feeding process. So and you need to have like a bloqueio. How to say bloqueio?
Must block the entry of air.
Yes. And there's a chiller, interlock of the doors inside of the facility. So all the supported areas should be connected. And because of this, we are talking about the high level automation. In this case, we are working on with Hockwell to developing these protocols, to developing the system, and all the recipes are automatic recipe and production planning and quality assurance. All the departments and all the infrastructure and also all the utilities should be connected, because this kind of thing is important to keep and to ensure that you can produce it, that you have a flexible facility and then can produce different vaccines by campaign, and to avoid cross-contamination. Everything is validated. Of course, this is a hard work, you spend more time to do this, but the result when you finish is the best way. And for this process, we have been we have had some meeting with Anvisa about discuss about this project in order to the inspectors can in advance prepare some documentation or giving us some key points that's important to prepare right now in order to reduce the time to getting the certification. That's idea. All team work together, not only Butantan, but also Anvisa. We are talking with Anvisa.
Anvisa, the Brazilian regulatory agency.
Yeah, sorry. Anvisa is our, our inspector, local inspector here. All the vaccines or seed or components that you use in human should be certified and getting registered for Anvisa. But all this procedure, all the working, all the activities that we are working now together, these are being made in different strategy, not normal strategy. Many things to do in the same time, many teams work together. All the time we are talking about with Anvisa and getting update to them about the project, because also they need to prepare some documents, some kinds of inspection here, and then to put in their agenda in order to getting fast tracking this facility. So this is our plan 2. So this is ongoing now. Now the last one is a plan 3, it's a medium-term action of the Butantan. I am talking about the Butanvac vaccines production by campaign in the same facility for flu vaccines. In this case, we are talking about the book produced by Butantan, and we select 3 key points: infrastructure, process, production, and regulatory issues and quality. This kind of process is in development yet, but this is different from the multipurpose facility, because this kind of facility we already already produced flu vaccines. So in terms of infrastructure, few adaptation for new process should be done. And in this facility is good because we have a pre-qualified facility in CGMP by WHO for flu. So we think that when we start production for Butanvac, with Butanvac, part of the process, part of the documentation is the same because the infrastructure is already okay. And the idea this facility is ready for virus production. And about the process production, the production based on egg platform. We did the pilot production scale, engineer batches, e-batches production for validation. This is already made. But now in developing our preclinical. Preclinical already made. It's okay. Now we are working on stability tests and process validation, and clinical trial started already. We received from Anvisa to start the clinical trial. This is in developing. This we are working on in this phase in this moment. This is our 3 major projects that we have here, and I would like to show to you. So thank you very much. I hope that you like it, and feel free to ask some question first. Thank you.
Whoa, thank you very, very much. That's really some very interesting stuff. I have already a few questions. So yes, the first one is a bit of a hardball, I'm afraid. Uh, Dr.
So it's for
Barari,
him.
yes, Dr. Barari is wondering about costs.
Okay.
So Yeah, he's
So this is with
asking
me.
about the cost of producing the vaccine in average.
In average, all kind of vaccines, or we are talking about
No,
the COVID?
specifically for the coronavac. I do
Well,
believe
the
it.
coronavac, we established, so this is my area, who precified this vaccine specifically. So the price is known for everyone, is $10.30. And just to let you figure out the cost, because it covers all the importation costs, the production costs, and also R&D costs. We have a very small margin of profit for that. We just only this profit uh, to have this saving, let's just say, to refurbish and retrofit all the planes that we have, to have a little bit of autonomy. We just to know we have revenue of till last year of 2 billion reais, and this year we are going to double that with this new vaccine. So this is why we can hire people from market, we can build new vaccines, we can reply. This is also very important. Why we can reply so quickly, so fast to new calls, to new emergencies. Actually, the financial independence is mainly, I don't know, I think it's like 8% of this answer.
Yes, he was wondering, again from Dr. Baradi, what is roughly the breakdown between cost in raw materials and cost in infrastructure?
This is very specific.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
very curious.
Yes, yeah. We actually this is we are talking about confidential data, confidential
All
information.
right.
But we can talk about influenza, for example, where more than 50%, 30% of the cost is the egg. So you can have only 30% of the cost of the one doses is the egg. Then we still have a huge dependence of import. So 50% more or less of the raw materials come from outside Brazil. This is something that we must figure out how to solve in the next 10 years, because I think we all saw how delicate it is to depend from other countries in this context, in a context of emergency.
Okay. Dr. Tsuzuki is wondering about coronavac and local API production. So how is this going? What's the plan, the schedule for that?
I can start.
Yeah, yeah. It's a topic.
So
Oh,
yeah, I start and then I can finish with the technical details. So for the coronavac tech transfer, we started the plan one that Adriano showed you. Plan one was the starting of this tech transfer with the filling line. Then to finish this tech transfer, you must produce the master bank, and this will happen in the new building that will be ready on April, February. We are talking about operational ready. And because the construction will be ready on October. But also we are developing a new vaccines with Sinovac. So we want to produce the coronavac specifically for P1, this new strain.
yeah. There's another part that was transferred, was concluded. It's analytical method. This is very, very important as part of the schedule to tech transfer. So we already done the filling process and also the analytical method for the quality control. And for this new facility, I think we have expectation that we will start production of the COVID-19 vaccines based on cell culture, for example, and virus production. The second semester from next year, the facility will be able, because we have a lot of procedure after finish of delivery of the facility, we need to start some engineering batches, need to check all the operational equipment, especially because we are talking about the multipurpose facility. You can change the switch, you can change the process equipment for each vaccine's production. So we have some procedures that should be done after delivery of this facility, ready for operation, and then spend 3, 4, 5 months, and we will discuss more details with our local inspection visa. So second semester.
Yeah, but we will start the pilot in a pilot scale in the first semester.
Yes, in a pilot scale, yes, because this facility we are talking about industrial scale. So yes, the pilot scale is the first semester.
Okay, thank you very much. If I may just ask a final question. Everyone was very impressed about how quickly Butantan answered to the call of production for COVID-19 vaccine. And I mean, I believe, and you said it as much, that you leverage existing infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
So what did this adaptation, what are the impacts of this adaptation on existing production on Butantan? You had this infrastructure, it was being used for something else, you are no longer producing that. So I just wanted to ask that.
So we were getting ready to go abroad, to start selling to other countries, and actually all these plans had to be stopped. It was very frustrating at the time. We had to stop all the negotiations we were having already with our partners. And I think, to summarize, I think now we should be providing the flu vaccines for several countries at this time, and we are not. I'm sure that we are doing something much more important right now due to the COVID emergency, but this was one impact. The other impact is we had to slow down the filling of other vaccines and also the filling of serum, because we were filling influenza and we had to filling COVID.
Yeah.
And we have 9 vaccines plus 12 serum. So it was a huge impact too.
Yes.
We had to hire
more people to work.
Yes, like 500 people to
we
get
needed
in
to
the
select
industry.
The people, the hired people, but in short time. And when you're talking about the pharmaceutical company, it's not easy to find candidate good to start and to work with us together. We need to, usually we spend 1 year, at least 1 year, to training these guys, these people, to start to work in this facility, for example. So in this case, it's a little bit challenging because you need to select very quickly and identify the candidate that can help in us.
And we had to slow down dengue and the monoclonal antibodies, which was our main project at the time.
Okay.
So a lot of impacts.
Yeah.
And also, just one comment about the planning, because of this, every week or sometimes the schedule changes. You need to move the production planning. So all the
Yeah.
people need to stay ready to change it, to to start some new vaccines for a certain time, and then finish move to the other vaccines. We have two filling lines, but we need to make some exercise
Yes.
to all the products should be
Yes.
feeling, should be performance.
It has been a
So,
challenge, an organizational challenge more than everything else.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you very much for your work. I think we are all very grateful for all that Butantan has been doing. And thank you for this presentation. This was very, very interesting.
Thank you very much, Professor Thiago. Thank you, everyone who are listening to us. And we are very glad with all the support that we are having during this tough time. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor Thiago, and everyone, to spend 1 hour to listen. And it's a very pleasure. I'm so glad to be here to participate in this event.
Yeah.
I hope that you like to understand. Thank you so much
Yeah. Have a
for
nice
today,
Congress.
and
to all.
have a nice Congress in this week.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.